Imagine a sound so utterly wrong, so fundamentally parasitic, it forces you to tear yourself apart. This isn't just a legend, it's the whispered horror of Project Tartarus, a forgotten Cold War biolab buried miles beneath the frigid North Atlantic, where scientists stopped screaming with their mouths and began screaming with the blood-curdling rending of their own flesh, driven by an invisible force that demanded their very being. They weren't just dying, they were meticulously, painfully unmaking themselves, limb by gruesome limb, orchestrated by an acoustic entity of pure, malevolent compulsion, a symphony of self-destruction echoing in the crushing darkness. This is the story of the sound that demands flesh, and the man who, perhaps, gave it a voice. Deep within the ocean's suffocating embrace, under the immense pressure of Cold War paranoia, Dr. Eris Thorne led a secret Soviet experiment codenamed Project Tartarus. Their objective: to weaponize bioacoustics, developing frequencies that could disorient, incapacitate, or even control enemy minds. Thorne, a brilliant but dangerously ambitious neuroacoustician, pushed boundaries, seeking to isolate a specific resonant frequency within the human brain, master key to consciousness itself. He believed he was on the precipice of a breakthrough, unaware that what he sought to unlock wasn't a key, but a cage, waiting to ensnare its creator in a torment beyond comprehension. The nightmare began subtly. First, a low, infrasonic hum that seemed to vibrate in the bone, inducing profound nausea among the deep-sea crew. Then, a subtle, irresistible urge to scratch, to dig at one's skin, a phantom itch that wouldn't subside. The lab's chief medical officer, Dr. Volkov, was found later, his face a pulpy mess, fingernails torn down to the quick, having gouged out his own eyes in a frenzy, whispering of the silence between the sound before his throat was gruesomely torn open by his own hands, a ragged, self-inflicted wound. The monitors registered no external audio, only the lab's own generators, yet the horrific mutilation was irrefutable. Fear became a tangible presence, thicker than the ocean above. The sound, now felt rather than heard, intensified, escalating its demands. Crew members, their eyes wide with a terror that transcended pain, began systematically dismantling their own bodies. One engineer gnawed through his own arteries, another meticulously flayed the skin from his forearms, while a third dislocated his own jaw, tearing out his tongue, desperate to silence an internal cacophony only he could perceive. The pressure alarms blared, not from a hull breach, but from the excruciating symphony of wet tearing, sharp cracks, and gurgling agony that filled the observation deck, as the living flesh became clay in the hands of its unwilling architects, forced by an invisible conductor. Alone amidst the carnage, the metallic tang of his own blood in his mouth, Dr. Thorne clutched a shattered comms unit. The sound, now a searing presence within his skull, wasn't just directing him, it was informing him. It was a frequency he recognized, one he'd designed, neurological repatterning signal he'd hoped would break enemy resolve. He'd tested it, carefully, on himself, a tiny, controlled pulse years ago, believing he'd tamed it. But the deep sea, the bioacoustic environment, had amplified it, weaponized it, given it sentience. Now, forever trapped in Tartarus's crushing darkness, the sound is Thorne's inescapable reality, his own creation, permanently embedding itself in his neurons. He is the architect, condemned to eternally relive the lab's gruesome finale, compelled to restart the cycle of mutilation, to rebuild his undoing, piece by agonizing piece, an unending loop of self-inflicted horror in his own private hell.